Okay, so meeting 10 o'clock Thursday 14th of June. It's the ninth meeting. Sorry, are we numbering these? We're not. Data do, wouldn't it?
No,
Yes,
it's the date is
Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so we'll sound off who we are. It's got me, which is Atticus.
Bashi.
Core.
Dale?
Oh, come on, man. They all know my voice by now. It's Mark here.
Rhiannon? Soraya?
Star.
Val?
Burke?
On the thing.
Just might be a we might be a point out there that Burke is just attending to listen in as a material witness, so we can call him later. Okay, moving on with the agenda for the meeting tonight. We've got a radio team thing up first. Update on how we all feel about having guests on the Agora. Well, I've got some stuff to say about that, but I won't kick it off. What are we really saying there? Are we having guests that come to the Agora? This is where I got confused last time with this, and I want to narrow that down first of all. How do we feel about having guests on the Agora? Are we just talking about people viewing the Agora, or letting them post on the Agora? Is that what we're talking about there?
Well, we could let them post, but no, that's not it. I guess, you know how we opened it up? When we do that, anyone looking appears as a guest, but they can talk in the shout box.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was talking about when I put it on the agenda. That people can still talk on the shout box and things like that. So it's not really a closed site on their behalf. You know what I mean? They can't. It's not just that they can come and have a shifty around. They can actually say some shit. So they could write anything in that shout box. It could be slanderous against the site or whatever.
Hey, alright, I can turn it off if it's that big of a deal. It's one little button.
Yeah, well, this is what we're discussing. We're not sure if it's a bigger deal. I don't. Is it viewable? What I'm saying is you've got to click on the shout box to view it. Is that correct?
Oh, well, there's one underneath on the forums tab.
So what's our feeling here? What you're saying here, Core, is that you're worried about someone jumping in there and just put simply profanity, etc. Is that your fear? Or someone's posting details?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically. Someone who can remain completely anonymous can just go on there and say, hey, Chris, I know you from somewhere. This is your full address and this is what your daughter looks like, blah, blah, blah. And I don't really like that, you know what I mean? I want a name behind it.
Yeah.
Well, I can find their IPs and all that and find out who they are.
Well, yes, there is that, and also there's the other thing. At least it gives people that aren't. I mean, not everyone's like that. Obviously, 90% of people aren't, and it gives them somewhere to ask a question that might lead to them actually thinking, well, you know what, I'll join, etc. So there's two things there really, and we're kind of getting on the paranoid foot rather than the balanced way of looking at it, and just assuming that anyone that goes in there is going to start saying derogatory things. And I've got to be honest, I think really as a site and as a group of people, I think really most people understand what we're about now to an extent, who have a brain, of course. So do we really care about these people? And Mark can jump on it instantly and take anything out like that. So perhaps we ought to have a vote on that, eh? Yeah, sure.
I want to add something to that. We all should have the ability to moderate the shout box.
Okay, I didn't know that, you see. So that's cool if that's the case, then that's fine, It's just one little thing. It's not really a big deal. I didn't even think about it like, it might promote people to join, so that's an error on my behalf there. But yeah, no, that's cool if we can, because there's always somebody on.
Well, no, the point's valid. The point you made's valid. But it's just, that's what we have this meeting for, isn't it? So we can take a vote and give other points of view. So no, don't. That's fine that you point. It's a good point, and it could happen. but we've got an antidote to it now, and we all know it, and we've discussed it, so that's fine. Let's leave it at that. Should we take a vote on that, please, and just fly down the what's it? I'm obviously in favour of leaving as it is. Bashi?
I'm also in favor to leave it as it is.
Yeah, now that I know we can edit it, I'm in favour of leaving it.
Yeah, leaving it as is.
Same.
Same here, as it.
Yeah, fine the way it is.
As is.
Yeah, leave it as it.
Okay. Moving on then. So basically, we're going to leave as is, so that can come out of the agenda for next week, please. Oh, that's a good point. Who's doing the minutes this week? Don't all run forward at once. Honestly, you should all be ashamed of your bloody selves.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, got her. That was perfect. I was looking at your name when you said that. I swear.
Oh,
Okay, so Soraya's doing the minutes. So Soraya, we'll have that out for next week, so we're not in there anymore with that one. Radio button, because there is no radio station. I think that's a bit of a moot point, really. And it leads on to something very quickly. So let's just leave that for the moment, that radio button thing, because there is no radio button, because there is no radio station. And the reason for is coming next. Podcast and scheduling. I've just put some suggestions in there about bits and pieces. A thread will be started with the topic of the next podcast, so the members can join in if they wish to take part in the recording for future broadcast. So what I'm basically saying there is, don't you think it's a better idea we record things for a very similar reason that Chris was talking about with the shout box, and for slip-ups and so on, but without editing it for the sake of editing it. So we're not, editing per se to make us all sound great and take out the things we shouldn't have said. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, for security reasons, a quick pass over. And then that leads on to the second point there, which is scheduling for the podcasts, as mentioned in the previous point. So we want some suggestions put forward, and we've got a little framework around there, because we've got 3 main time zones. The US's, the Australias, the Europes. We should have 3, because we're not in a fixed point with the show anymore, because we're not talking about callers, which is what fixed us in that point, and everyone was listening to the recording anyway. So there's your 3 main time zones. If we give it an 8-hour schedule, so you're going to rebroadcast 8 hours 3 times in a week at 3 different times, okay? That way everyone catches it, and it makes it convenient for everybody. We've had lots of discussions about this. This isn't just me that's saying this here. We've had quite a few discussions about it, and this is kind of where we ended up as a first step. So this isn't written in stone or anything. It's just somewhere to start, because we're meandering around this, and it hasn't worked what we've done so far. It's worked content-wise and structure and people doing their jobs and all the rest of it. That's all worked fine, but we haven't got right the communication, the interface between the audience and us, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed. And in those discussions, this is the kind of general synopsis we've come up with. So, do you want to talk about that generally for the moment? No? All agree with that?
Fine.
Oh shit, wrong button. I think it's a good idea. So would we stream? How would we stream?
No
the
stream.
8 hours or so. Okay, so just a kind of like a download play button or something.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't. I mean, you're talking about broadcasting. We could broadcast just as a, that'd be very simple to do if we want to do that. But really, what I'm saying is, this is what I want to talk about. Do we need to do that? I don't think we do. It's available. We're in a modern world where media is available at the touch of a button. Why do people want to sit down at their convenience and so on? So I think we're sort of bringing old standards into a new medium, which is a bit daft. I mean, we're calling it a radio station. I mean, come on, let's get in this century, shall we?
Can I throw something in there? if we're gonna do podcasting, well then, why don't we just do podcasting? Then people can get it when they want and on what they want.
Are there any limitations in that, Mark? I mean, what's wrong with just posting them up on the forum as YouTube?
Well, you could do that too.
Well, I
That
don't
was
know.
gonna,
I'm just sorry.
I'm sorry. That was going to be my question. When you're talking about these podcasts, you're talking about recording them and putting them on a YouTube. Is this what I'm getting?
Well, that was my initial thought, but Mark's saying that it actually would be better to make them podcasts. So is that what you're saying?
I don't know. That's the you want to do pre-recorded, right? Then that's all in the realm of podcasting. So like
Okay.
that would make more sense, and we could cut out all the worrying about streaming bullshit and just podcast it. They download it to their device and listen to it when they want, man.
Okay, well, look, let's narrow it down. Let's take a vote on whether the fact that we are going to podcast now or record now rather than radio. So can we have a vote on that? Obviously, I'm not for radio anymore. I want to do it this way. That's my vote.
Well, I abstain at the moment. I have not made up my mind, to be honest.
Chris,
Yeah, I mean, I'm easy really, so yeah, I can go with podcast, no worries.
Val,
Podcast.
Mark,
Podcast.
Reed.
Yeah, podcast recordings.
Hello.
Recordings.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the podcast. But I just have one question about the podcast because I'm a little gray on the area where exactly what we're talking about, the difference between podcast and doing a YouTube video. Are you actually talking about putting the recording on a button to? This is just I'm confused on that part. If somebody could straighten me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like one
After
of
the,
the myriad. You could do it both ways if you wanted. I mean, you could do YouTube and put it up on a thing. That way people could just download the audio. All you'd need is a file converter.
Well, hang on. Let's finish the vote. What we're voting about here is whether we're going to record or not. Let's talk about the technicalities of it afterwards. Are you okay in principle of recording what we're doing rather than live broadcast? Star is the question. Yes or no, Rick?
yes, in that aspect, yes.
Okay, Val?
Yeah, recording's good.
Okay. So now that's that's through. So we're going to record. Okay. So we're going to record. Um, so now let's talk about the medium we're going to record, which is what you were just saying.
Yeah, it's so on the website we're going to have an area with a say a button that we're going to click or some area for podcasts where it's going to have a variety of podcasts. Is that what I'm presuming? Because I just need it. I need to see a picture of this in my mind's eye.
Can you help us out there?
You see, that's the trouble with these things, man. There's like anything we do, there's literally a billion different ways we could do it. We could do it like 15 ways to make everybody happy. You know what I mean? Or we could do YouTube and yeah, it'd just be like a little link. Probably like I'd do it in an RSS feed, I'd imagine, where it would just put out the link to download the new one every week or whatever.
Putting it in plain English for us, Mark, will we be clicking on a window and seeing a list of things that we can click that then play?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm all right with that. If should we have a vote on that fact that we're going to have a window, whatever makeup that takes, or whatever format we end up with, because it's the most popular or the most we're going to end up with the most logical thing because that's what we're going to do. We don't want to get to less people, so whatever we're going to end up, we have a vote on.
Uh, Before you go with the vote, so I just want to know is like, let's say for example we have a particularly inspiring podcast that's been done. Can we link a particular podcast as opposed to just putting a button with it'll take us to a bunch of podcasts? And I know this is getting into that area, Mark, where you're going, well, there's a million different ways we can do it, but is there a way we can link one particular podcast of interest and so on?
Yeah, you mean just like a link? like a normal click-on link, like we pass around in
I
Skype?
think if I know Star, she wants to put it in a thread. Is that what you're talking about, Star? So you're talking about something, and then you want to put a link to what you're talking about. Is that what you're?
Well, yeah, or anybody else could, not necessarily me, or in a thread.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
but if somebody, let's say I'm on Skype and I say, oh, you got to listen to this podcast, and I want to share the link with them. I don't want to be, I don't want to share a button or an area with a bunch of different podcasts and tell them they have to look for this particular one. Is it going to be a way you can just individualize it? That's all I'm asking.
Yes, 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 yes. You see, what I was planning to do with this, I'm starting to put a little framework together just now, but my idea was, it would be one of the menu buttons on the front, right? And then you click there, and they're all there in like post, like blog post maybe, but we can make it not really look blogish, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they would be there, so you could go to one, or you could link to that one's post, say.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to know that if it, we're not just like you hit that radio button that's up there, and you hit that
Yeah,
radio
and it
button
goes
and
to
it
an
takes you right
archive
to
at
a
the bottom.
station. Right. That's all I was concerned about. Yeah, if you can individualize it somehow, like if you wanted to send it in an email or on Skype or say, hey, check this out.
Yeah, you can do it either
Well,
way. It'll work
which
out either
besides,
way, I should say.
yeah, you could do that easy, couldn't you? But it's less fettered, isn't it? You can. It's just easier for everybody right down the road. If you can go to that, link that, play that at your convenience, whatever one at whatever time. It just makes more logistical sense for everybody concerned, considering this situation we all live in now. So in principle, what's the question we're on? What are we voting on now? We know we're recording, and we're going for a window with a list that you can click on, and you can share links, whatever technical way that ends up. That's what we want. Are we saying that? So do we want that? I want that. Bashi?
Okay.
Yeah, it's good with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And Soraya, just a note to you, don't worry, because we'll have a recording of this if you've missed anything, so don't worry too much with the... okay, so we've got a couple of solutions there. Is there anything
Wait,
else anybody wanted to say about podcasts, radios, etc.?
yeah, actually, I want to skip something in. I I think it is to have a live radio station with streaming is, in my opinion, a very exciting idea in principle, because it creates a certain kind of yeah, let's say energy. Everybody focuses on the rallying point, the moment the streaming will start when we go live, and so on. There's a certain excitement, and there's a anticipation, and it attracts uh, let's say undefined things in a positive way. And I think that we should not leave or dump this idea of having a live broadcast. Maybe in future time, uh, I fully understand that for now it is the way to go in the next near future. But I think in a more far distant future, we should still have that one and keep that in mind, that actually if we can make a mix of podcast and live, I think that would be the best solution in that aspect, because it will unify two things. On one side, it would be very easy, I mean, podcasts, and on the other side, it will bring this energy together with this easiness. So I just want to mention that I actually, right now I'm in favor of doing the recording and podcasting, but I think in future we should not just leave it like that. We should, in my opinion, have in mind that in future that is a goal where we should go at one certain time. That's it.
I think I actually took it as read that that was the case, and that we're just actually taking steps forward. Sorry, I thought you might have missed that I did actually say that this is a first instance, a stepping stone towards what we're doing, but at least it sets a foot forward because we've been doing nothing that's really resolving the situation for the interface between us and the public. But I always assumed that we would end up being full media, both visual and audio, in the long run. But yeah, good point. Agree with it all. I'm sure everybody else agrees with that. But do you want to vote on that, or are you all right with us just all giving a flash of the button?
No, it was just a comment, to highlight this one.
Ah, I'd like to make a comment on that as well, and I agree with you, Bashi, that it's good to have in the future, and let's say something happens, that we decide together as a group, hey, we should do a live show on this because it's happening right now, let's do a live show. So I'm in full agreement that it's not a bad thing to have the live streaming, but I also agree that the recorded right now is the stepping stone.
Well, you could still have live if you wanted to very shortly, but what I want and what I think generally is, from a personal point of view, is it needs to be. There's a lot of quirks in there at the moment, and I think we probably run a little bit before we can walk. Or however, the content and how it's gone together, I thought was very professional when it came out very well. But I'm just the deployment of that, I think, could be more. Could be just smoother, and I don't think we're quite ready with the audience and the phoning. When you've got more people there, and generally, I think in general, we all really want to go that way because it's all about participation in any way, shape, or form, isn't it? So I think we're all pretty much of a muchness there that we'll start here and we'll move on with that. Is that really what you're saying?
Yeah, I understand that we were running before we were walking, and we stumbled.
Only slightly, but
This is the learning.
well,
Hey,
it's all
I
bef-
got a lot out. Listen, I got a lot out of that shit, dude. But as it stands right now, doing a live thing like that just doesn't work because we don't have the people or the resources really.
okay. I
So
don't think we
having a
need a vote
show.
on this.
Yep.
We'll just we'll just go with it as it ergonomically evolves. We'll go with it. That's basically what we're all saying, isn't it? As it evolves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyone got anything else?
No.
Okay, financial team. Financial overview and account update. Financial food for the membership fees discussion, donations and a PayPal. I think these subjects are all kind of running into one. We've got another point in there. Wave test run. I've put in there. Have we decided which software we're going to use? And we need to run some simulations, which we agreed. But the thing is, Val's been left just holding the baby, basically, along with Soraya and Amenjo. And really, we haven't really delved right into this and solved anything as we just did with the radio there. And I think we need to do the same sort of thing we've just done and come to some conclusions for these people because they're standing there with their pens ready to go and we're not really giving them anything to write down. So let's make some decisions with this now, guys. Anyone, well, membership fees. We've had donations. We've spoke about PayPal buttons and where they should be. So that's an easy one. Let's decide where the PayPal button should be first, just to get something positive happening.
Can I interject?
We've got some. Yeah.
I see an immediate problem there. It depends. You gotta be damn sure which PayPal button you're gonna use. Don't use that donate one because, like, if they find out you did it without being non-profit or charitable or some shit, they'll make you pay it back plus half.
Right. Okay, so we've got some points for the meeting there. Let's. Who's going to own that out of the financial crew to figure out what the ins and outs are with what donation and PayPal button? Well, basically, the financial team. If you could take that as a point, and we'll put that in the minutes there that we need to know. So let's put that clearly. We need to know the ins and outs of the donation system and the PayPal button and which one to use, so we can adjudicate in the future. As to which one we're going to use with those examples. So that's actually what we've got out of that. So let's leave that. that'll be a future point on the agenda. Um, so that's what the financial team can take out of today's meeting. So that's something you can do, Soraya. Do you know what I mean? That's positive. Okay, so I do understand the problem. Um, so membership fees. This is a real hot potato, and we keep throwing it around with each other, and no one actually solves anything. So let's sort it. I think it links in with the fact that people can donate whatever they want in whatever size. And I'll be brutally honest, on a personal basis, I've made my feelings very clear about this in the past, and I've explained why I feel that way. And it isn't based on some conjecture or how I feel. It's based on something I used to do as a job, and I used that button every day, and it is used, and you need to take that in account. If I'm here for anything, it's to say those words about the donation button. Believe me, I've harped on about it from day one since you met me, and the reason I've done that is because it's a tool. I know it's a good thing, but it's also a tool, and the pros, the cons and the pros of it are just, mountains apart. The good it does to the damage it can do, it's just not worth it. That's my personal view, but it's based on experience and what I used to do for a living. You can take that with a pinch of salt, make your own decision. But that's what I'm going to say about that. And in saying that, I'll put forward that the fee needs to be fixed. We need to figure out what that fixed fee is. And if anyone comes to us for any reason that they can't pay it, blah, 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 we'll adjudicate things on a person-to-person basis, because let's face it, draconian laws don't work. We can see that from our judicial system. Everything should be judged on its merits by people that understand the merits of it. So that's where I'm coming from with that, and I'll shut up and listen to what you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should just make a firm decision about what the membership fee is going to be, and then just get it implemented.
All I need is a
Do we
PayPal address and a number, a price.
do we do this for the whole of the membership, the complete membership?
I think we agreed before to make it optional, didn't
So we stick with that. I mean, when we're working out how much it's going to be for each individual, that's what I mean. To divide it between how many people. How do we work out how many people we divide it between? Do you see what?
Absolutely, and it also begs another question there, Soraya, which is we were talking about what that fee should be, and we realised that because of the size we are and the fact we're only building a website at the moment and using a forum as a tool to discuss it, the forum is the cost, if you like, of doing what we're doing, and we spoke about getting all the costs together and dividing it amongst the membership that want to pay a fee, and that's kind of where I was. I'm quite happy with that myself as a person and being a member. That if I see that it costs £1,000 a year and there are 45 members, 100 members, whatever my share of that is to pay that, I would willingly do so, and that would be my membership for the year. That's the kind of thing I was looking at, just to throw that in there. But I see what you.
Yeah, it's deciding how many we do between. That's a difficult thing. How many people are willing?
Well, I think we put a thread up and say, who's willing? Can you put your name down here? And we give them the reason why, because we need to know how much to divide it by.
Okay,
That's
Yeah,
good.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I agree too.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people on the forum that are not. A lot of them aren't active, and a lot of them aren't there to be members. They're just there for whatever reason,
There's also a lot of people there that don't want any activity. They're a voyeur, but they still may want to donate, and we'll actually post up for that.
Yeah, good point too.
Okay, so what are we saying now then? We're saying that let's recap that for the points of the minutes. We're saying that we will adjudicate. Sorry, we will add up what the costs are, cost of sales, if you like, cost to run the site, and then we'll put a thread up stating that, and that we think the fairest way to do it as a group at the moment is to divide those costs equally by people that wish to take those costs on board. Is that what we're saying? Okay, well that's in the minutes. Um, we should take a vote on that. I mean, I think that's okay, so I'll say yes on that.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, so that'll be entered in the minutes that's what we're going to do. And I would say the financial team should actually make that thread up. So that's you guys again. So you've got
Yeah.
two things you can actually do now.
Yeah, that's noted.
Okay, and I think that's going to lead on to further points in the future and so on. So do you want to leave that situation there, or maybe one thing we should go back on there is the PayPal button itself. I know we haven't decided what actually, the legalities of that actual thing, but it's got to go somewhere. So maybe we could decide that. Okay, no.
What do you mean? You mean for them the fee? No, it doesn't have to go anywhere.
No, I mean, but people that we said about putting the PayPal button on the site somewhere. Do you remember Rose was saying about it should be visible, and we were saying it should be on the next page, and we had some sort of.
Okay, well here's what's up with that. I just need somebody with access to the account to link me the button that they chose out of the like 6 or 7 they give you, and I can pretty much put it anywhere.
I think menus.
Yeah, and I want to know where. That's. Go on, Val.
Yeah, sorry, I was just saying that menus knows how to do the button thing, but yeah, we need to know where you want it.
So this is what we're trying to decide. What page are we going to put it on? Where are we going to put it? Now, we don't want it on the front page, do we? Or do we? I mean, that's just my opinion, but, it might be cultural.
I think it should be somewhere in the get involved section.
I agree.
Either on the subforum or on a sticky thread in the subforum of get involved.
Okay, rather than making this into a big mess, let's agree. Is it going on the front page? I say no.
No.
I don't really mind either way. I don't see what problem it would be on the front page. So
abstain from, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was just about to make an argument about that, but
You still can, mate. Go on.
you see, when I go to a site, then I get 3 pages in. Oh, they want money from you. That just seems like more fucking annoying than just knowing up front.
But we're not going to be asking for money, Dal. It's a choice situation. I know. Sorry, Mark. I know what you're saying, but I know that. I know what you're saying, but we're not giving a product for money or trying to sell someone some sort of get rich quick scheme or some sort of guru-ic key to life. We're not doing any of those things, and it's optional. So I see where you're coming from, but I don't know if it really accounts.
I meant any site in general, but yeah, it doesn't matter to me really. I just, I'd rather be upfront about it.
Well, look, put it this way. Would you? Well, that's what I'm saying about this vote. Do you think yes, it should be on the front page then, Mark?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Okay, no.
Okay, I don't.
It's a no from me.
No from me.
No from me.
Okay, so look, it's not going on the front page. So let's put that page, screw it up, and throw it in the bin. Where's it going next? What's the next page we're thinking about saying yes or no?
Let's stick it on someone else's page, like Lloyd's Bank or something. Not a joke.
You're not.
Yeah, you are.
I
Thanks, Bashy.
Hello. I think it should have a sub-form of its own, an area of its own, just with an explanation and a button. Go ahead.
I can make a page like I did for the disclaimer.
This sounds like the right direction because you can explain exactly what the ethos behind it is on that page. So that I like that. Okay, let's
Yeah,
cut.
that's good. Then you can point people to the page as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's not glaring in the face. What Mark said was bang on the button, really. You know, you arrive at a site, as soon as you see that little PayPal button, you think, oh, for fuck's sake. You know, you automatically think, oh, Jesus, they want money from me. Why would that button be there? And you know what it's like? They say, when you arrive at a website, you've got the person who owns the website has got your attention for 3 seconds before they've made their mind up, you know what I mean? So, yeah, maybe having its own little area where we can point people in the direction of, maybe in the welcome package or whatever, be a good idea.
Okay, look, let's go with a vote. I mean, I like that idea personally. I'm happy to have a vote on whether we use that or not. Anyone else got any objections? All right, so running down the list then. Page, PayPal button, explanation of ethos. Yes or no?
Explanation of ethos.
Explaining what the reasons we're and the wherefores of why we want money and
Okay.
how we want money and if we do actually want and
Yeah,
then the PayPal.
it was. I was just thinking about the video ethos, you know. So, and yeah, okay, yeah, separate page, no problem. I'm for it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, for this.
Okay, so the point for the minutes there, we're going to have a page with the PayPal button and some text in it, which we will decide what that is as and when as we go through it, explaining why, how, and when with the PayPal button. And then we can link to that page, and it will be on the forum as its own thing. Okay, good. Right, where are we now? Okay, so let's go and let's help the accounts team again. Let's get something sorted about what software. Val, what software do you, Soraya, Val, Menjo, speaking for Menjo, you two, could you tell us what software you actually prefer?
I prefer the Wave at the moment. It suits what we need.
I'm easy, really. But the Wave, I like that.
Okay, thanks for the additional information, but you're for Wave. Okay.
Sorry, I can.
It's a good.
We wave. This one gets waved.
Okay, so we're going to go.
Can I just ask, out of interest, what made you come to that conclusion? What is the advantage of Wave?
The biggest advantage is that it's interactive all over the world. So if when you're going to retrain, when anyone's taken over the accounts, you can retrain in real time. So you can actually talk them through things as you're doing it. And the handover would be so much easier than with QuickBooks or anything like that.
Oh wow, that's quite major.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Oh, well, I'm all for that then. That just makes things. I can see why you're pointing towards that now. Even if it was more difficult to use, that fact alone actually makes it a more viable bet in the long run, doesn't
Yeah, I think that for me is what swayed it really. It's not more difficult to use than QuickBooks, and you could hand over to somebody else very easily, and anyone else who wanted to get involved. The whole finance team could be on there at the same time working on the same things, and we could all see what's happening in real time, which I think is a massive plus.
Well, we could even insert one of the members in a random way as some sort of check measurement in the future, if you see what I mean, as well from that point of view. So it's quite handy in that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can also you can restrict what they can use, but people can get in and have a look what's going on, but they can't actually change anything.
So they can view. That's very good. Yeah, they can view without mucking it up. Brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
so can we take a vote on whether these people are going to use Wave or not? I say.
What did you say?
We want to use Wave. Do you
No,
agree?
no. Yeah. But what did you say? You say yes or you say no?
Yeah, I'm for it.
Okay, I'm also for it. It was not clear.
Yeah, it's a yes from me.
In support.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let it be entered in the minutes that we are going to use Wave software. Another decision made. Jolly good. Okay, has anyone got anything to add about financial? Would you like a short break, anyone, for a cup of tea? Or
Okay.
okay, it's 3 minutes to the hour now. Shall we come back 15 minutes past the hour?
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.